10 days, a red rental car, and a mad idea to chase Europe's most beautiful alpine lakes, one after another, like we're on some kind of aquatic scavenger hunt through one of the world's most stunning mountain ranges, the Alps.
Wow, are you serious?
France kicks it off with glacier-fed lakes so crystal clear and clean, you can see straight to the bottom. You almost feel guilty jumping in. Almost. Italy serves its lakes with sunglasses, spritzes, and speedboats. You're basically in George Clooney's backyard. And Switzerland drops lakes between mountains so majestic, they almost look photoshopped. On this road trip, we're trading beaches for lakes. No 5-star resorts, no tour guides, no cruise ships, no spa brochures, just local stays, the winding roads, and as many lakes as we can fit in. Let's see what happens. We have just made it to our first stop on our road trip to Europe's most beautiful lakes, and this is Lake Aigbelette. We're only about an hour drive from Lyon in the Savoie region, and if this is any sign, I mean, this is our first stop on this trip, and this place is blowing us away. I mean, the charm here is through the roof. We don't even have a sunny day. This is an overcast, hazy day, and the views here where I'm sitting, this is why we chose to do this road trip, is for views like this and places like this. You can literally rent paddle boards, those boats where you like pedal to move. There's a private beach here with like a sheltered swimming area. Families are picnicking. You got a bar here. It's a vibe. This is the French way. This is kind of our dream first stop on this road trip, is this energy and this vibe. The main town of Aigbelette is not far from here. It's about a 15-minute drive down the way, but it's more like a village, honestly. This is not a very populated area, not a very touristic area. I think that's kind of part of its magic, is it's not as busy as a lot of the other bigger lakes. If this is how we're starting off this trip, I can't wait for what's to come.
So here's our itinerary. We're going to be making our way through the Alps, stopping in France, Italy, and Switzerland, beginning in Lyon. Our plan is to make quick stops at the first 2 lakes, spend a few nights enjoying Annecy, cruise on over to Italy, stay a few nights with friends in Lake Como, head north into Switzerland, and end with a bang in Lake Geneva, all while hopefully avoiding torrential rainfall, which is heading our way. On to the next French lake.
All right, we have made it to our second lake now. This is Lake Bourget. The nearest town here is Aix-les-Bains, but this is a stunning glacial lake. This lake was created 19,000 years ago. It happens to also be the deepest lake in all of France. The depth, I think, is about 185 meters. But again, just another tranquil day by the lake. There's hundreds of people, you know, whether they're kayaking or in their boats or paddle boarding or just swimming. Everyone's just having a great time. There's a little ice cream stand here, lots of benches, lots of people biking. The water is very calm, very still. It's just so transparent and lucid and clear. Today, unfortunately, it's a bit gray, so we're not getting to see those vibrant green and blue hues in the water, but it's still beautiful nonetheless. We're gonna make our way down and actually check out the main town here, which is Aix-les-Bains. So unlike the last place, the name of the town is different than the name of the lake, but I'm excited to see that, so onward. All right, we have made it to lake number 3, Lake Annecy. And I gotta say, even on a slightly overcast day like today, the water is so vibrant, so turquoise. I heard it's like the cleanest lake in all of Europe. And I'm starting to kind of believe it, because I can see, even on a day like today, I can see all the way to the bottom. One thing that's kind of stood out to me is just how many people are outside exercising and doing sports. This place totally feels like a dreamland for athletes and outdoorsmen. I was talking to a local about how she puts her kids into all kinds of sports throughout the year. She puts her kids in sailing classes, and then in the winter, the kids go into skiing classes, and they do like kayaking and all kinds of active stuff in nature. I saw this one guy who was even like hydrofoiling, and he was like, I feel like he was, I mean, I'm not an expert, but I feel like he was pretty good, because he was going pretty far deep into the lake. And to me, that's kind of what you would expect with an alpine town like Annecy, but they really take advantage of where they live and how beautiful it is, and just being surrounded with all these greenery and these huge mountains. They even have a ski resort that's 15 minutes away from the city center, which I didn't even know about. There's a 40-kilometer scenic bike path and route that you can take along the lake, which is so awesome. If you want to soak in the views and how stunning this lake is, I feel like that's the thing to do. I would have totally done that with Olivia, but since we have a baby now, we have to pivot sometimes, and that's one of the things we had to give up. We have made it to Annecy's old town, and I gotta say, as we got closer and closer to it, it got more and more beautiful. It sounds cheesy to say, but it's true. It's almost like a mix of Amsterdam and Venice with that alpine flair. You know, they got pastel houses, the cobblestone streets, the rooftops are beautiful, and directly behind me actually, that triangular shaped building is called Palais de Lille, which I just learned used to be a prison. And that just added a whole new mystique to it. It already looks cool, but now it's even cooler. As you can also see, it's a little bit of a madhouse out here. There's a crap ton of people on both sides. You can see it's packed, and supposedly they're saying there's less than normal. I'm like, I don't know what normal looks like if this is what it looks like today. One thing I also loved is they added all these flowers, these flower pots all along the canals, which is just, it's charming. It shows that people love and appreciate their city. They're investing in their city. It's very clean. There's a lot of also really good cafes. The three being Les Négociantes, Les Baigneurs Café, and Adrenaline Coffee Shop. And we grabbed this amazing sandwich from La Fermette. And when we showed up, there was this huge line. Bonjour, on va faire un sandwich bœuf séché des Alpes raclette et jambon cru de Savoie reblochon. Oui, you want some little pickles in it? Yeah, oui, merci. They make sandwiches with reblochon cheese, with raclette cheese, where, you know, they toast that cheese, get it super melty, and then they just literally scoop it up, slap it on your baguette. They either combine it with jambon cru, which is like a prosciutto, or like dried beef from the local region. That pairs together so well. They throw some cornichons, little pickles in there. That to me is like a perfect meal slash snack when you're on the go walking around the old town. And it's only like €5 or €6 a sandwich. Oh, it's hot. Merci beaucoup. Bonne journée. All right, dude, the cheese is just oozing out. Wow. That's Olivia's, and this is mine with prosciutto, or jambon cru in French. But right now, we're about to head on one of those boat tours of the lake. We chose the hour-and-a-half one, which is the whole tour of the lake. So we're gonna get to see all of Lake Annecy. It is not raining at the moment. It very well may rain when we're on the boat, but who cares? We're having a good time. All right, we're on our tour boat now, and this is definitely one of the highlights of our time in Annecy. I mean, this is probably the best thing to do if you want a holistic perspective of the whole Lake of Annecy. Get on this boat tour. It's like an hour-and-a-half long. The guy's talking down in the background. He is doing a lot of explaining in French, unfortunately. I don't really know if he does much of the English, but the views are stunning. There's like beautiful mansions, beautiful little towns, traditional alpine houses. There's a few castles. We've seen 2 or 3 beautiful castles.
We saw one that they said inspired Sleeping Beauty's castle, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and that was probably the prettiest one of all of them that we saw.
And right now we're looking up at these big granite mountain faces. So beautiful.
You really get a sense of the grandeur, and if you don't want to sit on the deck outside or above, you can just chill inside, and the view from inside is just as good. I'll show you guys. Like, look at that. That's our view from where we're sitting. She's unsure.
We have our American phones unlocked so that when we travel, we can download local eSIMs and avoid paying our carriers $12 a day travel fee. We've gotten in the habit of buying an eSIM and then topping it up as we run out. But recently, we learned about a company called Simify that offers unlimited data eSIMs, which has been a total game changer for us and has taken away any stress of having to top up. We're traveling to a handful of European countries over the next 30 days, so we got the unlimited Europe eSIM. It installed in less than 5 minutes and gave us internet as soon as we landed. If you've never used an eSIM before, it's super easy to download. Download the Simify app, choose your destination, purchase your eSIM plan, install and activate in minutes, and stay connected as soon as you land. Simify offers coverage in over 130 countries. If you want to give Simify eSIM a try on your next trip, go ahead and click the link in our description and use our code ONWT15 for 15% off.
All right, we have made it to our 4th lake on this road trip and the 2nd largest lake in all of Italy. This is Lake Maggiore, Right now we are parked above the town of Stresa. It's a very picturesque town. We had to pull over. Right now we get to see a big part of the lake. There's these two little islands in the middle. I don't know what that is yet, but we're gonna drive down and check it out. What's really special about this area is Lake Maggiore stretches from northern Italy all the way to southern Switzerland. So it's surrounded by the Alps. There's all these elegant villas everywhere. It's honestly giving me Lake Como vibes. And I can't tell you, just like looking down on this lake, I mean, the views are spectacular. Can't wait to drive down and check out the town of Stresa.
Oh my God, what a view, bro.
We have made it down to the water here in Stresa, and I just found out what those two islands are. They're the Borromean Islands, and one of them, the closest one here, has a beautiful Baroque garden with all these sculptures in it. We're not gonna have enough time to actually get on the island, but we can even see it from here. And the other island is like a fisherman's island. Stresa's on the western side of Lake Maggiore, but they have this beautiful panoramic, they call it a passeggiata, which is one of my favorite Italian words. It means like a stroll along the waterfront, and it's absolutely stunning. We're only gonna have about another hour here, and then we're gonna keep moving on towards Lake Como. We have made it to lake number 5, Lake Como. And so far, my first impressions, it's kind of exactly what I expected. You got fancy villas and real estate, a lot of tourists, but it definitely has that charm. I mean, the mountains are far bigger than I expected, like way more grand than I imagined. Each little town has its own personality, whether you're in the Bellagio or Menaggio or Varenna, the colorful homes and the colorful hotels. We're currently staying in Bolano, and I'm actually so happy we are staying here because it feels a lot more local, a lot more authentic and chill. Like people are actually living here, not just visiting here. Like there's a lot less tourists, it feels like. There's a little beach that we got to chill out here with a little bit of like a bar and some food and stuff like that. But the other towns are great to do day trips. You know, you take the ferry, get across. You definitely have to plan your ferry trips. Holy crap, that was stressful. They don't go that often, so if you miss it, you're pretty much out of luck. But we made it this morning and we got to see some of the smaller towns. We got to walk around Bellagio and have a few cocktails on the water. That was amazing. It was far too crowded for my taste, but still fun. And we also got to go to Varenna and do that panoramic coastal walk, which was also very charming. You know, this is Lake Como is like a huge lake that is in the shape of an upside down Y, and we're only getting to see kind of the crotch area of that Y. So it's a little triangle, and that's where we're really enjoying ourselves the most, is in that little pocket. But the reality is, I'm sure there's a lot more to see in this lake. You know, I could go see George Clooney's house right now if I wanted to. There's also that beautiful villa at the end of Casino Royale. That's here as well. So there's just a lot of side quests you can go on. If I come back, I definitely would rather come in fall or spring and avoid the summer months because, yeah, it's just a little bit too touristy for me. But otherwise, I can see the appeal of this place. I can see the allure. I can see why so many celebrities buy homes here. Well, today has been a super hectic day. We made it to our 6th lake on this road trip, Lake Lugano, earlier today, but I didn't get a chance to vlog because it was just dumping on us. We were caught in a rainstorm. It was honestly super sketchy. Like the roads are narrow, they're windy, there's little to no visibility. The roads feel very wet. It's gonna keep going like this. We might have an issue. Yeah, it's flooded, you see? And so, unfortunately, we got to see some of the little towns around Lugano and see some of the lake through some pockets, but we didn't really get a chance to fully enjoy it. The one advantage I will say about driving during a crazy rainstorm is we got to see hundreds of waterfalls going through Switzerland, dozens left and right. And once the rain had settled, it was just stunning. It really, really just took our breaths away. First impressions of Lake Lucerne. This place is absolutely beautiful. One thing that I immediately noticed right off the bat is it has these fjord-like bays and all these like really charming historic towns around it. It is an alpine lake, obviously, so you have these massive mountains all the way around it. Visually, it's very different from Lake Como or Lake Lugano. We're just so happy to be here. You can kind of tell I'm pretty shot, I'm pretty exhausted. It was a very intense day, but we're happy we made it. We're gonna grab some dinner, and then tomorrow the plan is to wake up really early and get to enjoy more of this lake before moving on to the next place. All right, we have pulled over to see Lake Biel. It is the smallest of the 3 Jura lakes. They call the Jura is this region. What also makes the town of Biel quite interesting is they speak both German and French. So mixed language city. And just driving along the lake, what was also really nice is along the slopes leading down to the water, there was quite a few vineyards, some wine being made. This town is also famous for its watches. It's home to Rolex, Omega, Swatch. Those are some big names. Those are some 3 really big names. They're based out of here. It is very windy out. We are going to continue on to another of the Jura lakes, which is coming up, probably only about a 20-minute drive away. And hopefully the weather stays as good. We've made it to lake number 9, Lake Neuchâtel, which also happens to be the largest lake entirely in Switzerland. Switzerland also has some pretty big lakes, but they happen to be shared with its neighbors. An example being Lake Geneva. The Lake of Geneva is actually a bigger lake than this one, but it is shared with France. Neuchâtel is purely Swiss. And we were lucky enough, because the weather once again switched up on us, but we were lucky enough to actually walk around and check out the medieval old town of Neuchâtel, which was super charming. The streets were all cobblestone. It honestly kind of had like a French vibe and this really elegant lakeside promenade. You have views of the Jura Mountains. There's wineries and vineyards all around the lake. When the wind picked up, we noticed a bunch of sailboats on the water. This typically happens to be one of Switzerland's most sunny regions. Unfortunately, we didn't get to see that side of it, but I'm sure on a sunny, clear day, this place is a vibe. On to the next lake and hoping for better weather. We have made it to lake number 10, the last lake on our lake road trip journey. This is Lake Geneva, also called Lac Léman. And my goodness, one thing that's immediately stood out to me about Lake Geneva is that, for one, it straddles both France and Switzerland. So it's a shared lake. It's quite a big lake. And also it is surrounded by the Alps and the Jura Mountains. So you have this incredible backdrop. And if you get on a boat, you can see all these little charming towns along it. And that was something that was really special to do, because you can really appreciate just that kind of quiet lakeside life compared to the bigger lakeside cities of Geneva or Lausanne or Montreux, which are also stunning places, but unfortunately we just don't have enough time to go check out. There's a ton of charming vineyards on the slopes leading down to the water, and there's definitely no shortage of wineries and great restaurants. There's a ton of boats on the lake, a lot of people sailing, there's people biking everywhere. We arrived last night on the Swiss side. The nearest town from where we're staying is called Nyon. It's basically like Lyon, but with an N. And that town alone was so charming. We also got super lucky. The town was celebrating its 50th anniversary. And once a month they have these street markets. And today happened to be the biggest one of the whole year. The lady at the desk of our hotel recommended to take the ferry and cross to a French town called Ivoire. And my goodness, this is the most beautiful French village town I have ever been to. It is stunning. It is too perfect. It's annoying, actually. It's annoying how perfect this place. It's so well groomed and manicured and landscaped. Everything is so intact and well preserved. The whole town is like surrounded and fortified by this wall. There's places to get ice cream, places to grab great food. Right behind me, I don't know if you can see it, but that is the 14th century medieval castle, like right on the water, overlooking the entire lake. There are flowers everywhere, on every balcony, on every stone building, narrow cobblestone lanes. It's just so amazing to me that you can go from like France to Switzerland so easily. This marks the end of our lake road trip. It has been incredible. We're gonna enjoy our last day by a lake in Lake Geneva and continue on our road trip to our next destination.